Good morning, beloveds. I'm running a little late today, and I have no excuse other than the gravity well of my bed was really hard to escape this morning. It's been a really busy May. There's just been a lot going on. And I still have more to do. Although my to-do today after service is to go see a play. So, there's that. Let's get on with this. The rain's been something else, hadn't it? I don't know about you, but I always sleep really well in the rain. All right, it is May 23rd. Our title is I Do Everything with Reliance on the Law of Good. The Bible quote is, "All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth." Matthew 28:18. While Jesus said that all power was given to him in heaven and earth, at another time he said that he of himself could do nothing. This sounds like a contradiction until we understand the subtlety of its meaning. Jesus realized that there is but one power and one presence, and he knew that we all live in this presence and by this power. He also knew that when he surrendered himself to the presence, that is, when he thought the thoughts of God after him, then the power would automatically respond to him. Therefore, in surrendering himself to the presence of good, he commanded the law of good. This is fundamental to our whole concept of what we believe and the way we use it. For we use the law of good, which of itself is entirely independent of us, like all other laws of nature. Responding to the presence of love, we use the law of good. This is what meditation, affirmation, and prayer mean. I am now depending on the power that is greater than I am and the law of good that is available right here and now. I identify my life with the presence and the power and the love of God. I recognize the divine presence within and around me and in all people. For if there is anything in me that denies this presence or this power, I loose it and let it go. I am surrendering myself in faith and with complete conviction on the acceptance that everything necessary for my well-being, my physical, mental, and spiritual self-expression is now operating in, through, and around me. I know that everything I do shall prosper. I know that the one life, which is God, is my life now. Therefore, I accept this gift of life and love for myself and for all people. All right, so he's letting a secret slip here, because he says it right there. This is fundamental to our whole concept of what we believe and the way we use it. So the law of good, the law. Basically, if we use it within the qualities of God, then it will work for us. And it works the same for us as it does for any person who uses within those qualities. And if I haven't beat the qualities at this point, the first one is always love. Love, gratitude, creativity, harmony, joy, happiness, peace. All of those qualities that we know are what God is. With love and creativity being two of the, kind of most descriptive. I'm not going to say the top qualities. I'm going to say the most descriptive qualities. Because we're trying to describe something that is, one, ineffable, and two, infinite. So any descriptor that we use is going to be too small. But love and creativity come the closest that we can. And so when we set out to do something, when we use those two qualities, and all of the rest of them are encompassed within those two qualities, then the law is gonna work. Now, our being willing to give up the how will open up more possibilities. And the understanding that we don't have a lock on this. You know, it's that everybody else, everyone else, everything else can use the same law. And that when we use it outside of those qualities, when we misuse it, then things go sideways. Turn out interesting. Don't work the way we expect. And it's not the law. It's our use of the law. If we try and use gravity and we try and misuse gravity, gravity absolutely will continue to function exactly the way it's supposed to, and we are the ones who will suffer the damage for trying to misuse gravity. Oh. You can't throw something heavy at the top of the tower and expect it to go up. It's gonna go down. It's the law of gravity. So, I do everything with reliance on the law of good, because it's a law. It's immutable. And Matthew says, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. We have access to that power. We have the right to use that power. We have the responsibility to use that power correctly. I could throw you a Spider-Man quote. To those given much power, much responsibility is also given. While Jesus said that all power was given to him in heaven and earth, at another time he said of himself that he of himself could do nothing. Because to do this, we have to align with that power. If we're going to use it, we gotta act within those qualities. This sounds like a contradiction until we understand the subtlety of its meaning. Jesus realized that there is but one power and one presence, and he knew that we all live in this presence and by this power. So as Ernest likes to say, we live and move and have our being within this power, within this presence. It flows through us. It is what made us. So of course we have access to it. But if we want to make the best use of it, we have to use it within its qualities. He also knew that when he surrendered himself to the presence, that is when he thought the thoughts of God after him, that the power would automatically respond to him. He had to align himself with God. He had to recognize who he was. He is a beloved child of God. So if he acts like a beloved child of God, of course the power is going to respond to him in the most effective way. And Jesus knew that, because Jesus knew who he was. Therefore, surrendering himself to the presence of the good, he commanded the law of good. He acted like a beloved child of God. This is fundamental to our whole concept of what we believe and the way we use it. For we use the law of good, which in itself is entirely independent of us, like all other good laws of nature. We didn't make the law. We can't change the law. We are governed by the law. And if we use the law as intended with love and creativity, then the law will respond to us infinitely. And when we try and use the law in ways it's not meant to be used, then we will suffer the consequences of our misuse of that law. And it's not the law that is punishing us, and it is not God that is punishing us. It is our own misuse of a law that we have no power over. We have power in, but not over. It's a subtle distinction. Responding to the presence of love, we use the law of good. This is what meditation, affirmation, and prayer mean. Responding to the presence of love. And if you can't do it in love, what are you doing? I am now depending on the power that is greater than I am and the law of good that is available right here, right now. It's bigger than me. It's infinite. It's bigger than you. It's infinite. But you are a divine distributor of that power. You are a center of that power. Right here, right now. The secret? I identify my life with the presence and the power and the love of God. I identify my life with the presence and the power and the love of God. If I don't do all three of those, then I'm wasting my time. So, you identify your life with the presence, the power, and the love of God. And this law will work for you. I recognize the divine presence within and around me and in all people. I don't have a lock on it. I can't take it away from anybody else. I can't say you are not. I wouldn't want to, but I can't. And that means nobody else can. So if somebody comes to you and tells you that you are not a child of God, they are speaking outside of their turn. And they don't have the power to determine that. They don't. You are the divine presence. It is within you, around you, as it is in all people. If there is anything in me that denies this presence or power, I loose it and let it go. And that may be something we need to do every day until we don't. I am surrendering myself in faith and with complete conviction to the acceptance that everything necessary for my well-being, physical, mental, and spiritual self-expression is now operating in, through, and around me. It has always been operating in, through, and around us. But it is the aligning with and the surrendering to that will make it work better. I know that everything I do shall prosper. So when we align with that power, when we align with the love of God, when we recognize that we are the beloved child of God, as everyone else is also the beloved child of God, then everything we do shall prosper. I know that the one life, which is God, is my life now. I know that the one life, which is God, is your life now. Therefore, I accept this gift of life and love for myself and for all people. I accept it for all people. You get to accept it for all people. So our mission today, should we choose to accept it? Well, we have two. One, I identify my life with... So the mission, should we choose to accept it, is to identify our life with the presence, the power, and the love of God, and to loose anything within us that denies that. So it's a two-part mission. It's a two-part mission to recognize that we are in that presence, in that power, that it flows through us. That's who we are. And as always, I just completely lost my words right there, and it happens. I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever it is. It is the Sabbath for most of the Western spirituality, so it can be a day of rest. A day to set everything aside and rest. And maybe you can't set everything aside all day, but maybe you can set everything aside for an hour and rest and do something or nothing. Or nothing. Take a nap. Read a good book. Listen to good music. Go see a play. Theater's opening back up. Do something that feeds your soul. Especially something that doesn't have anything to do with your pocketbook. All right, beloveds. I do have to go get ready for the service that we will have at 11 for you right here on Facebook Live. So I should go eat breakfast because I'm just moving a little slow this morning, and that's okay. That is okay. So please do remember you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. This is the state of grace that we live in. Always. Always. We haven't seen the sun much this week. I like to encourage you to go get a face full of sun, and we just haven't seen the sun. But please do something to engage your mind and your body today, whatever it looks like, for however long or short of a time you want to do it. And drink some water. Hydrate. It's good for you. It's good for you. All right, beloveds. And while you are doing this, please open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. As Emma says, look for the good and praise it, because the more you look, the more you see, the more you see, the more there is. And that is how we create a world that works for everyone. All right, beloveds? Know that you are loved. Do what you need to do to make this, if not a wonderful day, if not a fantastic day, a good day. A good day. All right? I don't know. I'm just losing my mind today, and that's okay. Because it'll be right there to pick up when I'm ready for it. And just know that Reverend David will be on, well, we will have a service on Facebook Live at 11 a.m. for you. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. And I'll be back with you at 9 a.m. And as always, these talks are archived on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. There's more than a year's worth of material up there, so feel free to check it out. And you can also check out the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel. There's two. One for them, and then this content is on mine because I didn't want to clutter up the Spiritual Center page. So feel free to go like and subscribe and listen and do all that stuff. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in about an hour.